We're starting by adding some jelly prints to my planner, followed with a peek of my decorated February signature. Up next, I will share my latest digital planner kits, including backgrounds and ephemera, followed by some exciting book reviews and the news about some shop updates. And to wrap it up, we'll be decorating a part of my March signature. Let's do this! Usually I would start off by showing you a flip through of the current month, which would be February in my case. But today I want to first add something to February, because as you can see here, I have these two empty pages and I want to add one of my recent denim jelly plate prints. These are the digitals. And by the way, I got a few comments underneath that video asking if I could provide digitals to the prints I made in the video. At the very end of the video, I'm actually showing you these digitals and mentioning that you can find the link for those under the video. So these are all the digital versions. And by the way, thank you so much for all of you who have added your experiences with jelly plates and what I might have been doing wrong. For those that have not seen the video, there's lots of oh no moments in that video. So many things went wrong, but I did get 8 very usable prints in the end, so it was worth all the struggle I had. So I was thinking for this double spread to either use the blue one or this one. This one I had mentioned is my favorite one. Somehow I want a little more color in here, so I think I'll go for this one. And I'm going to make 2 pockets on either side here. Oh, the blue also goes well with this side. Okay, you'll see more of that later. So I just want to trim this down. Then I'll take an oval punch and punch some half ovals to make them look more like pockets. No idea why this just happened. This is regular copy paper. Is this going to be another video with lots of oh no moments? To be seen. I seem to be having a streak. There's no reason for this to do that. Let me add some cardstock underneath this one, since these paper have decided to be divas. Yeah, that's better. Actually, what I wanted to say before was thank you so much for your comments, trying to help me figure out what the issue was, that my paper was tearing a lot. Lots of different theories. I think the most common theory was that I left the paper on the jelly plate too long. I was rubbing it too long. But the thing is, if I tried to pull it off earlier, of course you didn't see that in the video, the paint was still stuck to the jelly plate rather than my paper. So there must have been another reason. This one is so wonky, but okay. Another very common theory was that the paints I'm using are not the right paints, that I shouldn't be using the cheap paints, that they're not opaque enough. Maybe so, but I have used these same paints for other jelly prints and they work just fine. So it's all still a mystery to me, but it definitely means that I need to do some more experimenting. So I quickly stitched around them with my sewing machine. And by the way, because I see this jeans material here, I just remembered I also have some more of these junk journal jewelry strands in my shop currently. Many of you have been asking for more physical products, so here you go. This is just one of many different versions. You can just wrap it around your journal, tie it in the front, and there you go. So you can see which ones are available still in my shop link below. I have a category called physical products. So if they're there, then you will find them in that category. But usually I will keep physical products at the very top of my listings anyway. And something else that I have been busy making, this is turning into a show and tell, are some more ephemera books. Last time I had these in my shop, I mentioned I don't know if I'm going to make more. Since they were gone so quickly, I decided I need to make more because obviously you really enjoy these. So they all have different sizes. So these are all vintage German books, and they each have 10 vellum envelopes inside to add your ephemera into. I find them very practical. So that's one. Then we have Bambi's Children. And of course, these envelopes are custom made to fit to the corresponding cover. Then we have Veronika und ihre Freundinnen, meaning Veronica and her friends. Love how artsy this is. It's so cute. This one is a bit wider. Then we have this one, really cute. Nesthäkchen und ihre Puppen. Nesthäkchen, I'm not sure how to translate that into English. That's like you would call your youngest child Nesthäkchen because it's the one that stays in your nest the longest. And so it's Nesthäkchen and her dolls. Love this cover a lot. Also the inside is really pretty. And then we have this one. Ernst und Scherz, meaning serious and joking. Kind of a weird title, but I think these are very cute. They're obviously looking at a book, which could be a journal, right? So just to show you, in case you haven't seen mine, I was lucky enough once to find one with my own name on it. And I keep some of my ephemera in here. So that's what it would look like if you fill up your envelopes. So let me give you a flip through of my February planner so far. It is February 21st when I am filming this. So this is the cover page that we have made together in the Plan With Me February video. I still love these goggles and that they're shiny. And I love, love, love this heart embellishment with the movable arrow here. And then more embossing here. So this was my steampunk menagerie kit. I didn't want to add anything onto this wallpaper because I think it's so beautiful. We also, I think, made this tag in that same video. So again, her goggles have some embossing on them. Love this tag topper. Obviously I meant to write myself something here. I have no idea what that was. I'll have to think of something to write myself. What was my plan? I really don't remember. This here looks quite bleak. It's my 10K step tracker because I've been sick here. You might have heard it if you've seen my previous videos. And I couldn't do any fitness and I hardly walked. It was just ugh. But as you can hear, I am much better. Thank you so much for all of your well wishes. Back on track with fitness here, finally. So that makes me happy. But what a curveball. You just start on your fitness journey and then life throws a curveball. Just makes you sick. So this here was a page out of a journal from 2015, unbelievable, which I decided to recycle for this journal. And then I added the quote, "Life doesn't have to be perfect to be wonderful." Added another cute little cluster with this embossed heart on top. Made this into a pocket. I cut him out from, I think it was a tag from the ephemera set from the Steampunk Menagerie, and just added these two buttons. Added some journaling on the back. Then on this side I added another pocket. This is from one of my previous kits. This tag here was from a freebie from my 60K thank you video. You can still find that link under that video. Again, I have journaled on the back of this. Then I added this pocket. Again, this is from that same kit. It's called Whispers of Wings. Love this tag topper here with the gold thread. Added this quote, with brave wings she flies, and have my to-dos on the back there. Here's another pocket from the Steampunk Menagerie kit, as well as this tag. I just added Daring Adventures and this cluster on top. I'm so in love with these clusters for this month. My to-dos on the back. And I don't know how well you can see that, but I added 3 metal gears on top here. This here is a Valentine's card I made for myself. I have a separate video on that. You can find that on my channel. And here I have a photo that I can't really share with you because there are family members on it. I don't have the permission to show this on YouTube, so that's why I turned it around. But also the back is very pretty with some stenciling there. I was documenting my experience with my family with the second hand pan workshop that I attended, which was so fun. And this time I actually managed to get some nicer sounds out of it. Yay! So then I made a belly band here with some beautiful lace and this belly band, which is part of the kit. On the back of the card, I decided to add this little coin envelope and this embellishment, and also a tag in here. And these are all from my, I think it's my Autumn Serenity kit. I should know that, shouldn't I? Anyway, I added some stenciling here and no journaling yet on this one. I do plan on adding some. Yeah, so on this card, I wrote myself, "Dear me, thank you for your strength. Thank you for your laughter. Thank you for being you," because we do not appreciate ourselves enough, and we need to treat ourselves with the same kindness and appreciation as we do other cherished people in our lives. And this was just a reminder of that to myself. Here we have another one of the Steampunk Menagerie pockets and tag, again with some lace on the top, and my to-dos on the back. And as you can see here, I cut out one of my steampunk fairies. I believe she was on the folder that I had in my ephemera pack. I did emboss her wings, so they are shiny. And I also added some lace underneath her to make her a little bit more feminine. Added some stenciling here on my background. Yeah, this we've just seen, and maybe you're wondering about what on earth happened here. I experimented with some transfers of an inkjet print. As you can see, it didn't go so well, but somehow I still like it. You can hardly see that this is a steampunk girl from my kit, but somehow I love it. I just love the grunge. Here, I just wish she would have come out a little bit better. I'm not sharing the technique because obviously it didn't work. You will see another example of it on another page, which worked even less. So yeah, not ready to share that one yet. Love this paper bag handle though. Glued it on first, then added these large eyelets. Sewed along this handle with my sewing machine and added some lace buttons and some very delicate fibers here. And as you've seen here on the back, I've added a collage with, again, one of the girls from my kit and a coffee dyed piece of lace and 2 more metal gears here. And now I have 2 large pockets to stick something in. I'm not sure what yet. Then this is next week. So I have this wallpaper pocket here, and inside again I added photos from the hand pan workshop. Again, I'm sorry I cannot show those. I don't have permission. On the back here I added another one of my steampunk tags with some lace and a metal gear. On this page here for my to-dos, I added another lace belly band. This girl again is from one of my freebies from the 60K thank you video. I embossed the heart, so that is shiny. I think she's so cute. Added some lace underneath her as well, and added this folder from my kit. Added the do it and important, some lace underneath. And a little bit of stenciling on the inside. So I will add my to-dos in here next week. And then the last page here is a bit of a catastrophe. So the layer underneath is that failed inkjet transfer that I tried, which was just horrendous. On top here, I added a napkin that we got at one of my friends' houses where we had dinner. And I really wanted to keep that because it's so relevant for February and Valentine's Day. So I thought this was perfect. And then I didn't know what to do with the page. So I just cut out a strip from the Whisper of Wings backgrounds, made that into a top-loading pocket, added some lace here, and again, a metal gear and some gold thread. Not sure yet what I'm going to put in here. So that's February. And can I just share how bulky this has become in the meantime? I have actually only worked on 2 months and it's getting chubby. I love it. So, and here you can see a sneak peek of March. So let me first share my March kit digitally with you. Let's explore my latest collection called Gatsby's Garden. I have created 14 background pages echoing the 1920s art style. These pages are drenched in hues of blush and red, featuring fields of poppies that seem to dance with the era's exuberance. Complementing these backgrounds, we have 8 pages of vibrant ephemera. Here the essence of the 1920s fashion comes alive through women depicted in luxurious gardens, their elegance and grace a nod to the timeless allure of the Great Gatsby. These digital pieces are not just elements for your planner or journal, they're invitations to step into a world where the glamour and opulence of the past merge with the creativity of the present. Whether you're marking a special occasion or simply bringing a touch of Gatsby's elegance to your daily planning, these pieces offer a unique blend of history and personal expression. Each design, each figure tells a story, transforming your planner into a canvas of your aspirations, inspired by the lavish gardens and spirited fashion of the 1920s. These aren't just pages, they're a getaway to an era of wonder waiting to be brought to life in your hands. So now that you've seen them digitally, I can show you what they look like printed on regular copy paper. Obviously, they are never going to be as vibrant on regular copy paper as they would be, say, on matte photo paper. So always keep that in mind. If you want to have vibrant colors, you need matte photo paper. So this will be my cover page for March. And I want to say I really struggled this month because usually when I design a kit, I design the backgrounds first and then the ephemera to go with it. But this time I first had the idea for the ephemera, not knowing at all what my backgrounds would look like. And so when I had all of this ephemera, and as you can see here, I already prepared it. It's printed on thicker cardstock and obviously I've already cut it out. I've already inked up all of my pieces. As you saw also in the digital, these are super busy and there's so many beautiful focal points on these that I didn't want the background to compete with these images because I wanted these really to be like the spotlight. So I struggled for a really long time to figure out how to make the backgrounds work with these ephemera pieces and not take away their thunder. You know what I mean? So this was my compromise. So I have these poppies. I think the style really looks like in the 1920s. So that's my monthly overview. I have a large paper bag here, then my tracker. Then this will be my first full week of March because the February one went till March 3rd here. This is again a recycled page from a really old journal. I think this page here I think goes really well with my backgrounds. This one not so much, and I don't like this side either, so I will be covering this up. Second week, then we have an empty page. I might just make this into a pocket by gluing these pages together. And we have the next week. Again, this does not match, and I will be covering this up. This one, I'm not sure yet. I might just keep that. Here we have the second half of that large paper bag and 2 more empty pages and another empty page. So lots of space here to do various things. But first, I want to do something with the cover page. Usually I would not add a pocket on my cover page, but why not? I want some more interest. I want some brighter colors. So that's what I'm doing this month. And now I just need to find something to stick inside. I like that. Or do we want a square format? No, I actually like the contrast of this one here. So for my monthly titles for this year, I've been using my Delusions by Diane Reevely stamps. They're called Boxed Monthly DYB 79996. I really like this whimsical font. So again, I'm going to emboss this. I would love to just stamp it here in the dark red, but I think it's going to look weird off center. I think I do need to center this. Using white embossing powder, which is what I've done for the previous 2 months as well. Oh, that doesn't look like it's stuck very well. Did I wait too long? Okay, I hope this is going to show up once it's embossed. You know what I did? It's not the first time that happened. This is not the white embossing powder, it's the clear embossing powder, Barbara. You need to read. So what do we do now? Because I don't think we're going to see this once it's embossed. Can I take it away well enough that if I stamp it again, it will only stick to the new stamp? See, I said this was going to be another one of these oh no videos. It's the second thing now. Okay, that is staying there apparently. Can I stamp over that again? This is really risky now. Because although it's a clear stamp, I find it very hard to place it exactly. This is going to be a disaster. I think I might have stamped it the wrong way around. This does not look like it says March anymore. No point in embossing that. But that's okay. We're going to make it work. We're just going to use a scrap piece of coffee dyed paper. That way it will stand out even better. And this time let's actually use the white embossing powder. I think this is going to be better. Or not. I don't know why this is not working. What to do? So I tried again off camera and it worked. So that was the first try and this is the second try. I don't know what I did differently, but we'll just move on. Let's ink this up. I'm curious what else is going to go wrong. There are just those days, right? I think we all know them. This happens to be mine. And I want to add a poem on the back here, since I don't need to add any to-dos on the back side. And since I don't really like the plain white back sides, I thought I would add maybe a tea bag, because I have quite a few of these and I haven't used them in a really long time. So I'd like to find one that is not so dark so that you can see the writing. This is quite yellow. This is probably from a green tea, I'm guessing. These are very dark. These have seeped for days. This one, I think, might be just perfect. Or this one. Or this one. Let's see if they're wide enough. Oh, they are. Okay, let's do this. I'm going to use my matte gel to adhere this to my tag, and I think I can just go right through the tea bag because it's so porous. Yeah, that seems to work. You could also use clear gesso or even thinned down glue. Okay, we'll let that dry. So once that has dried, we can just cut around that. I'm not sure yet how I'm going to add the poem. Obviously, I could just handwrite it, but I don't like my handwriting. So I would love to type it with my vintage typewriter, but the ink is not very strong on those ribbons that I have in there. So I'm not sure how well we're going to see that. But this makes such a lovely background. Let me ink over that. So I do like the pencil on the tea bag. So it reads, "Never mind March, we know. When you blow, you're not really mad or angry or bad. You're only blowing the winter away to get the world ready for April and May." And it's by Annette Wynne. That's kind of cute. I feel like I want some sort of a tag topper on here, but it's kind of difficult with the colors I have here. If I take something like this, it picks up this, of course, although it's not really the right green. I do have one that's a lot more blue, but somehow it's too harsh, even if we only take a little piece. Well, actually, it's this size. That's one option. Another option, which is a lot softer, is this piece here. This is perfect with the colors, right? I'm really liking that. We could put it around like that. Could leave it a little longer on the back. Okay, so that's my start for March. And before we move on in the signature, let's get into some book reviews. And I know this part is the least watched part of my Plan With Me videos. So if you're not into books, please just skip ahead. But I'm keeping this section for those of you that appreciate seeing what I've been reading. So I don't know how I did it, but I managed to read 4.5 books in the past month. What? Who am I? I will give you a very brief synopsis of each one and my rating. So let's move this aside a little bit. So number 1 is The Guest List by Lucy Foley. Number 1 Sunday Times bestseller. This was my first book by this author, and it is a mystery, which I usually don't go for, but this one sounded quite intriguing to me. So the story takes place at the wedding of Jules and Will, which is being held on an island off the coast of Ireland. And the plot has been actually compared to works of Agatha Christie because there's a murder that occurs with limited suspects and each guest has a secret which will be revealed throughout the story. I enjoyed the closed setting a lot. and I would have never guessed who the murderer was. Also, I found it interesting to read from multiple POVs. So each chapter always has like the name of the person we're reading from and who she is. So in this case, it's the bride. And I really appreciated always having the information of who that person was, because that just makes it so much easier. Olivia, the bridesmaid, and so on. Even all the way through to the end, it still keeps telling us. I love that. The chapters are quite short, which I appreciate as well. I rated this book 3.5 stars, and it did not convince me that I like mysteries more than I did before reading this book. Next one we have is One True Loves by Taylor Jenkins Reid. If you know my Plan With Me videos, you probably know I'm a huge Taylor Jenkins Reid fan, and this is astonishingly the 7th book I have read by her. So the story is that Emma and Jesse are living the perfect life together until Jesse disappears in a tragic helicopter crash on their first wedding anniversary. And then 4 years later, Emma finds happiness again as she's about to marry her best friend. However, when Jesse miraculously resurfaces, Emma soon finds herself torn between two great loves. This was a very quick read and a page turner, but it's not going to be a book I'm going to remember for a long time. I was entertained though. As you can see here, it's also been made into a movie, but I have not seen it yet. I gave this book also 3.5 stars. Next, we have a very untypical book for me. The Illustrated Man by Ray Bradbury. And I would have never picked this one up on my own, but it's the favorite book of all times of my best friend. So of course I was intrigued to find out why this is her favorite. I did not realize this going in, but it's actually a collection of short stories, and many take place on Mars or in space as an alternate reality. And all of these stories are loosely connected with a tattooed carnival worker whose body art moves and shifts and tells these stories. As much as I like the cover and I wanted to love this, it was not for me. First of all, I'm not a huge short story fan, but in my opinion, it also shared mostly the negative side of human beings. At the start of each story, it took me a while to actually figure out where we are and what is actually going on, which I didn't enjoy. But no doubt Ray Bradbury's imagination, especially because this is written in the 1950s, I think 1953, is absolutely mind-blowing. But it just wasn't for me. There was even one story where I couldn't even get past page 2 because of the graphical, violent, and grueling plot. Under different circumstances, I would have not even finished this book, but I did for my bestie. I'm giving this a 2 stars only because it is very thought-provoking, but definitely not an enjoyable read for me. Moving on to something completely different, A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. If you are a fan of fantasy, I'm assuming you have heard of this book or maybe even read it yourself. So this series is known as the ACOTAR series, and for the longest time I didn't understand where this acronym came from, but I finally got it. ACOTAR. The interesting thing about this is this series started off as a young adult high fantasy series. Originally, Sarah J. Maas had only planned to write the first 3 books. There's 5 in total. And then this turned into an adult fantasy. I don't know any other series that does that. Actually, it's a romantasy, so it's a romance within a fantasy. And the saga begins with Farah, a 19-year-old huntress who is kidnapped and brought to the fairy lands of Prythian. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. After she kills a fairy wolf without knowing that he was a fairy wolf. Her kidnapper is Tamlin, a high fae and one of the 7 high lords of Prythian. The series follows Farah and Tamlin's story as Farah spends time in the world of the Fae and discovers that everything she thought she knew about fairies is absolutely wrong. This really was a page turner and I had a great time with it. I did enjoy the first half of the book more than the second half because the second half somehow was a bit much and over the top for my taste. I rated this book 3.5 stars and I immediately moved on to the second book in the series called A Court of Mist and Fury. And this is the one where everyone says that it's the best of this 5-book series. I am about halfway through, so I'm about here. This is a long one. It has over 600 pages. I am really enjoying it, and if I had to rate it right now after this first half, I would give this 4 stars. At this point, I don't know if I will be continuing the complete series. I think I'll definitely read the next one, which is, I think, over 700 pages, so even bigger. But yeah, having a great time with these. So I'm done with this page. Let's move on to here, the first week of March. So this I will leave. This I definitely need to cover up. So I have some vintage paper here and I just traced the shape here. And now I can just cut that out. And add that here. Much better. And here I want to add a belly band. I don't know why I'm so into belly bands at the moment. So for my kits I have these two. I really love both of them. This one is a bit large. I could have printed it smaller, of course. And of course I could cut these out. I could just put 2 and put something else underneath. That's also a very nice option. Or I take this one. This one is of course very matchy with the background, so I'd have to offset that on something. I'll just take this lace, the one I've used in the previous month as well, because I have quite a bit of it and it's beautiful. I found this at a flea market outside of Vienna and I'm so happy about that. And I'm so happy that I'm using it a lot. So I will just glue that on. Gorgeous. Then I'm going to use this journaling card here for my to-dos. So I'll stick that in here. And I also want to add something here. I was thinking of this one. So I could add that here as a pocket. We can punch a small half circle here. And I will sew around that. And maybe I'll add some buttons here as well. Let's tear into this. These are from the Netherlands. Oh no, they're falling off. I was hoping they would stay on. Maybe I'll just glue that on. How do we like that? Do we like that? I like that it's picking up the blue. And what if we add some off-white thread underneath? I'd say that's a winner. And I'll glue it on a little bit crookedly. These are fabric covered buttons. And for this side, I'm wondering, do we add some lace or is it too much? We have this pink piece here, or we could add that on top. Or I have this pink and white piece here. What do we think? I think I like this one better. I think it needs to be here on the bottom. I actually just had an idea what I want to add in these two pockets. I have a whole drawer full of items from Happy Mails. I used to make Happy Mail journals. I haven't done that in a really long time and I should. But in the meantime, I thought I would keep some of the Happy Mail items in my planner as well, because why not? First of all is this lovely card that I received from Romy. She's the owner of Quilting for You, which is the German online shop where I get all of my beautiful designer fabrics, like this one right here. I will link that shop again for you below. And the second one is from dear Sandra from Germany. This is, I think, more than 2 years ago. And it's not because I don't value what you send me. It's because I hoard the things and I put them in my drawer for Happy Mail. And I shouldn't do that because this way I don't use the items. By the way, this is my old address, so I'm not worried about you seeing it. So Sandra included a very sweet note, which I will add in here. And she also included this gorgeous, gorgeous handmade paper. I have such a hard time using something as beautiful as this. I think I will keep hoarding this for a while before I add this to a journal. And then she also sent this beautiful cabinet card, which I will add to my collection, which I cherish a lot. And she got me these beautiful, beautiful vintage tickets. I love these, and they're going to go into my ephemera holder. So I'll put them right here in the front so that I will actually use them. So Sandra, if you're still watching my videos, thank you so much for these lovely goodies. I think I'm going to include the beautiful envelope as well. Such a gorgeous paper. I would love to hear your feedback on this kit. Is this a theme that you enjoy? All the links are available underneath this video, including the junk journal jewelry and the ephemera books. Love you guys. Mwah, mwah.